And Kenya and Israel have agreed to expand the scope of intelligence sharing to fight terrorism. This was announced by President Uhuru Kenyatta and visiting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. KTN's Murimi Mwangi explains what this security deal means to Kenya.
Very nice. Shortly after 10:30 a.m. and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived at State House in Nairobi. On hand to receive him was the host, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Netanyahu would then receive a 21-gun salute before inspecting a guard of honor mounted by the Kenya Defense Forces. A feat which symbolically set the stage for the bilateral talks
as two nations
between the Netanyahu team and the Kenyan delegation led by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Although Kenya struck deals on health and agriculture, security cooperation between Kenya and Israel, it seemed, had taken prominence in the talks.
Israel, as the Prime Minister said, has faced this challenge much longer than we as a country. They're helping us in training, they're helping us in equipment.
If you know in advance that an attack is going to take place, and you can preempt it and you can prevent it, that is a tremendous and direct assistance to the saving of lives.
Right over wrong.
Netanyahu is the first sitting Israeli Prime Minister to visit sub-Saharan Africa in 30 years. His visit coming at a time when the global networks of terrorism have struck mercilessly at the African continent. The two leaders agreed to expand the scope of intelligence sharing, while President Kenyatta sought Israel's help to tackle cybercrime.
Israel is doing this across a very wide canvas, and we will share, cooperate our intelligence with our friends in Kenya and Africa.
At the State House function, Netanyahu sentimentally recounted the dramatic details of 4th of July 1976, when his elder brother, Jonathan Netanyahu, then a soldier, was killed during a hostage rescue mission in Uganda.
Our pilots landed here afterwards, and in retrospect, we know that this was not merely an act to save innocent Israeli hostages, but it was an act that dealt a devastating blow to international terror at the time.
As a country, we also paid the price for many of our people who were subsequently killed in Uganda by Idi Amin as a result of the support that we gave.
But with the leader of the Middle East superpower in town, security was enhanced around the city, while most highways in Westlands and Museum Hill were closed in the morning hours as the Netanyahu convoy proceeded to State House.
Israel is coming back to Africa, and Africa is coming back to Israel.
Thank you very much.
And so, after the maiden visit by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, now begins the wait for Kenyans to enjoy the goodies unleashed by the two leaders on the eve of this historic visit by a sitting Israeli Prime Minister. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News at State House in Nairobi.